July 10th, welcome to this week's Wine Marketer's Radar. We're kicking off this week with a story from Marketing Dive that hits especially close to home for anyone in marketing or brand leadership. How do you respond when economic uncertainty is about to hit your customers in the wallet? According to new data from Gartner, US shoppers are already making recession style cuts to their behavior. More cooking at home, smaller pack sizes, delayed big ticket spending. And looming over all of this is a volatile tariff landscape, with the next big decision deadline now pushed back again. So, what do you do when fear starts shaping buying behavior? According to Gartner, now's the time to dust off your recession era playbooks and focus on three things. First, empathy. In unstable economic moments, consumers become more risk averse, even for small purchases. It's not enough to say your product is worth it. You need to show people that buying it will not feel like a mistake. Second, permission structures. So, what this means is that when money's tight, people need a reason to feel okay about buying something that isn't strictly essential. Your job is to help them connect the dots, to show how your product still fits into their lives. And this might mean emphasizing utility, emotional reward, or even long term value. Give them a why that isn't just because we're great. And third, practical transparency. So, in times of uncertainty, customers want to understand what's changing and why, especially around pricing, policy, availability, and delays. The most effective brands are communicating proactively and clearly. So, think FAQ style updates, visible notices on carts and checkout pages, and straightforward language. Why does all of this matter for wine? Weather, shipping, clubs, tasting rooms, cost, these may all be impacted by the current climate of uncertainty. If you're having to make changes that impact your customers and their experiences with your brand, you must reinforce why your brand is worth trusting, what you're doing to keep prices steady or value high, and how you're showing up with honesty and care. This might look like transparency as you communicate shipping updates, tasting room offerings, or cost changes. Consider low stake entry points like half bottles, buy the glass programs, or even affordable discovery bundles. And lean into clear messaging that focuses on the value of small luxuries. But above all, do not panic react. Stick to your values, be the calm in the storm. As Gartner puts it, uncertainty has already been unleashed into the system. The best brands will use this as an opportunity to build trust by being clear, consistent, and genuinely helpful when it counts most. All right, the next story comes from the beauty world, but the lessons apply directly to wine. Sephora just launched a campaign called Delivered to Beauty. And this flips the usual retail script. I actually think it's fascinating. Instead of delivering products to people, they're delivering people to the store. Literally. In select cities across the US, Sephora is offering a $20 Lyft ride credit to bring shoppers straight into their brick and mortar locations. Why? Because Sephora knows that their in store experience is a key competitive advantage. Sure, e commerce is convenient and algorithms can recommend trending products, but nothing beats real human guidance, face to face conversations, personalized consultations, and the kind of product delivery that only happens when you're there. Inside Sephora, shoppers can get a free skin scan, consult with beauty advisors, try samples, and get $10 off their purchase. This is all about reminding people that the store isn't dead. It just has to be worth the trip. So, what do we think of this for wine? Well, wine already has the makings for this, our tasting rooms. But most wineries are still hanging out waiting for the people to come to them. Meanwhile, Sephora is literally sending the car. And honestly, why wouldn't we do this too? Getting to a winery can be a barrier, especially for city based customers, younger drinkers who don't drive, or anyone who wants to taste without worrying about transport. What if wineries offered rides? No, maybe it's not for everyone. Maybe it's not for every day. But what about top tier moments? What about special events or midweek visits when traffic is light and the tasting room is empty? If this sounds extravagant, ask yourself, is it more cost effective to spend money on a targeted ad or to guarantee a visit from someone who is already in your ecosystem? Even better, turn it into great content. Show the experience. Share that surprise and delight moment. Turn the ride into a reason to visit. Retail isn't just about selling products anymore. It's about curating experiences that feel personal, generous, and worth the effort. If Sephora can turn transportation into a brand moment, so can wine. So let's talk Gen Z and luxury for a moment. Two stories caught my eye this week, one from e-consultancy and the other from the Drum. And together they offer a fascinating look at how luxury brands are evolving to meet Gen Z. So let's start with the luxury collection. This is JW Marriott's high-end brand. We've got historic properties, global locations, and some cinematic storytelling, including the concierge who inspired the Grand Budapest Hotel. In 2024, they launched a social media campaign that leaned all the way into edutainment. Content was grouped into audience relevant formats like city guides with local influencers, immersive story first hotel videos, chef interviews, and cultural explainers, and just enough mixed reality content to stop a scroll without chasing trends. The results showed stronger engagement, higher saves and shares, and $11.7 million in attributed bookings alone. Why? Because they respected their audience. The brand stayed exclusive, but they also made themselves emotionally available. So now let's zoom out to the drums take. Gen Z and what they're calling the undeniable pull of interestingness. And the argument is simple. Gen Z isn't interested in your ads. They watch what interests them. And luxury, to stay relevant, has to get more original. So, yes, absurdity has worked for brands like Liquid Death and Duolingo. But for luxury brands, interestingness is a new exclusivity. And this means lead with curiosity, use your values as a creative canvas, reinvent formats, don't just chase trends, and surprise people on brand. Don't just jump the shark for clicks. Why does this matter to wine? Wine already has the key ingredients for interestingness. We've got history, tradition, people, place, and a gorgeous product. But we often fail to frame these things in ways that are narratively rich or culturally fluent. And when we do reach for luxury, what do? We default to cliches, gold foil, cursive scripts, and premium messaging that frankly sounds like everyone else. But what if luxury wine got more curious? What if you showed the weird, wonderful, wildly specific stories behind your place and your process? Because for Gen Z, luxury isn't only about price, it's about originality, relevance, and emotional intelligence. So if your wine is sitting in the fine or prestige tier, don't just show up polished, show up interesting, and make sure your marketing is as compelling as your price tag. And that's us for this week. If you need help with your wine marketing, head over to fiveforest.com.